The cosmic clock begins its final terrifying countdown as Earth drifts helplessly away from its life-giving sun. For 242 days, our fragile blue home has been hurtling directly toward the solar system's largest gas giant. Now the moment of ultimate impact is finally arriving. We have entered a realm so close to the giant planet that it is now the only thing filling our horizon. Across the continents below, ground temperatures on Earth are rising uncontrollably. Our delicate atmosphere is beginning to ignite into catastrophic sheets of global flame. Down on the doomed surface, the global scientific community is desperately scrambling to provide answers. Everyone asks what will truly happen when these two vastly different worlds finally collide. Is there any bizarre cosmic chance that we could pass right through the fluid layers of the gas planet? How would an unprecedented collision of this magnitude transform Jupiter's structure forever? To find these vital answers, planetary scientists must look deep into the violent history of our solar system. This impending apocalypse would not be the first time that Jupiter has engaged in a planetary collision. Nearly 4.5 billion years ago, a young Jupiter was involved in a cataclysmic orbital battle. The gas giant was struck by a rogue planet harboring 10 times the massive weight of Earth. In that ancient event, the sheer violence of the impact completely transformed Jupiter's deepest core. But a haunting mystery remains regarding what happened to that forgotten impactor planet. What secrets can that primordial disaster reveal about our own planet's chances of surviving this plunge? To uncover the truth, we must travel back through vast eons of time to that volatile prehistoric epoch. We arrive 4.5 billion years ago when Jupiter was merely a young planet finding its place. Suddenly, Jupiter's immense gravitational pull became 30 times more powerful over a tiny fraction of a million years. This sudden surge violently destabilized the orbits of nearby vulnerable infant protoplanets. The gravitational chaos caused several of these doomed worlds to crash directly into Jupiter's growing body. It is scientifically believed that one specific rogue planet was a monstrous mix of silicate and ice. This giant silicate world struck Jupiter at a staggering impact speed of 46 kilometers per second. Amazingly, Jupiter only lost a very small fraction of its total gaseous mass from the Titanic explosion. However, its original central core structure was completely and permanently changed. Before this defining impact, Jupiter possessed a remarkably dense central core made of heavy metallic elements. The remainder of the gas giant was composed cleanly of pristine layers of hydrogen and helium gas. But after the impact, the infant planet's heavy silicate ice core merged directly with Jupiter's central mass. This violent mixing caused Jupiter's compact core to become heavily diluted across thousands of kilometers. The heavy elements spread outward, permanently altering the chemical composition of Jupiter's outer layers. While this ancient collision was a defining evolution for Jupiter, it meant the total end of the road for the intruder planet. With that historical horror established, what are the actual odds that Earth's impending fate would be any different? As the countdown tick reaches zero, our world braces for an identical gravitational execution. The forward edge of our planet's magnetosphere is now colliding with the immense magnetic field of the gas giant. On the ground, communications are failing as the skies fill with an ominous, unrelenting orange glow. Massive supercyclones are breaking out across our oceans, pulled upward by Jupiter's unyielding tidal gravity. Instruments indicate that Earth is breaking past at the point of any physical return. Suddenly, a massive shadow falls over our entire planet as we cross into the path of Jupiter's inner moons. A deafening tremor ripples through the tectonic plates of Earth, signaling an imminent orbital obstacle that could shatter our world before we even touch the atmosphere. The violent tectonic tremors gradually subside, leaving behind an eerie, breathless silence across the fractured continents. Deep within scientific command centers, supercomputers flicker to life to map out our sudden, terrifying eviction from the solar system. Mathematical models reveal that Earth normally orbits the Sun at an average velocity of precisely 29.78 kilometers per second. That ancient, life-sustaining equilibrium is now permanently shattered as a monstrous gravitational anomaly rips us from our path. Calculations confirm that heading straight into a direct collision course with Jupiter will take exactly 242 days. On the first day of this forced exodus, humanity looks up to see the Sun looking deceptively normal in the sky. Far out in the midnight ink of the cosmos, Jupiter shines merely as an unusually brilliant, unblinking star. With every passing hour, the mathematical distance narrows as our planet slides deeper into the freezing dark. By the sixth day of the journey, Jupiter expands dramatically, appearing as large and luminous as our own moon. As the distance from the sun increases exponentially, our natural daylight begins to visibly fade and wither. Streetlights click on prematurely in the middle of the afternoon as a permanent dusk settles over the world. The global temperature drops steadily, causing frost to crawl up the windows of abandoned homes. Fortunately, the Earth's thick atmosphere initially acts as a vital heat buffer, slowing down the immediate arrival of absolute zero. This protective insulation is only temporary, forcing citizens to scramble for survival supplies and heavy-duty winter gear. Soon the oceans begin to freeze from the edges inward, turning crashing waves into jagged, immovable statues of ice. Plant life everywhere collapses into a state of permanent hibernation or outright death as photosynthesis becomes impossible. We are leaving the habitable zone of our star, drifting into a realm where life was never meant to exist. As weeks blur into months, the sun recedes until it is barely brighter than an indifferent point of light. By the time our dying world reaches the orbit of Mars, we receive a meager 50% of our normal sunlight. The global surface temperature on Earth plummets to match the hostile conditions of the red planet. We must now look forward to an average global baseline of minus 63 degrees Celsius. Carbon dioxide in the upper atmosphere begins to freeze, falling down to the surface as an alien powdery snow. Speeding relentlessly past the Martian threshold, the dark path ahead grows increasingly cluttered and perilous. Ahead lies the hazardous expanse of the asteroid belt, a massive cosmic minefield of tumbling rock and iron. As Earth pushes into this orbital debris field, the night sky ignites with spectacular, unending meteor showers. What looks like a beautiful celestial display from the ground is actually a deadly bombardment of planetary fragments. The gravitational wake of our giant planet acts like a magnet, pulling thousands of smaller space rocks into erratic trajectories. We must maintain our forward momentum and slide through the gaps before a catastrophic impact shatters the crust entirely. Deep underground, the remaining human enclaves listen anxiously to the muffled, concussive thuds of upper atmospheric detonations. Every mile traversed brings us closer to the outer solar system, where the true sovereign of gravity awaits. Jupiter is no longer a mere star. It has grown into a massive, swirling marbled eye tracking our inevitable approach. The giant's immense gravitational fingers are now tangibly reaching out, pulling on Earth with an ever-increasing force. Our velocity begins to crawl upward, shedding the baseline speeds of our old peaceful solar orbit. The frozen, dead landscape of Earth offers no resistance as the physics of the cosmos dictate our downfall. All active machinery on the surface has died, silenced by the absolute crushing freeze of deep space. Only the persistent warmth of the planetary core keeps the absolute finality of total freezing at bay for those below. Day 240 approaches, and the gas giant now completely dominates the forward field of view. The colorful, violent storm bands of Jupiter churn aggressively, welcoming their upcoming terrestrial prey. We have successfully navigated the vacuum of space, survived the freezing dark, and bypassed the asteroid swarm. But just as the first outer moon looms ahead, a massive, unpredicted orbital distortion from an approaching Jovian moon threatens to rip Earth apart before we even touch the atmosphere. The sudden orbital distortion from the approaching moon Sinope violently wrenches our planet off its calculated trajectory. Gravitational tidal forces ripple violently through the tectonic plates, causing massive global tremors across the continents. Jupiter now looms omnipotently in the background, a colossal wall of swirling amber and ochre clouds dominating the entire sky. Our speed accelerates exponentially as Jupiter's immense gravity well hooks into Earth with absolute finality. We have officially crossed the threshold into a chaotic planetary minefield containing 95 known satellites. The outer, irregular moons pass by like silent, misshapen sentinels carved from ancient dark rock. Earth narrowingly misses Pasiphae, a massive, irregular moon, by a distance of merely a few thousand kilometers. At this hypervelocity, the kinetic energy of our planet makes any potential collision instantly cataclysmic. The oceans are no longer stable, pulled toward the sky by the competing gravitational forces of Jupiter and its moons. Ahead lies the inner ring of power, guarded by the four largest bodies discovered by Galileo Galilei. The first major hurdle is Callisto, a heavily cratered world of ice and ancient stone. Callisto's mass tugs fiercely at Earth's northern hemisphere, tearing away large fragments of our upper atmosphere. Earth maneuvers through the gravitational crossfire, hurtling deeper into the dangerous radiation belts. These lethal energetic particles slam into Earth's remaining magnetosphere, igniting permanent, worldwide auroras. Next comes Ganymede, the largest moon in the solar system, even bigger than the planet Mercury. Ganymede's own magnetic field clashes violently with Earth's, generating massive electrical storms in the vacuum. The extreme velocity of our descent creates a slingshot effect, flinging Earth directly toward the icy moon Europa. Europa appears as a pristine, cracked billiard ball of ice hiding a subsurface ocean of liquid water. As Earth screams past, the immense gravitational wake cracks Europa's thick ice sheet completely open. Liquid water explodes into the freezing vacuum, instantly turning into a crystalline cloud of space ice. These ice particles sandblast the remaining satellites and spacecraft orbiting our dying world. There is no slowing down as Jupiter's gravitational pull increases by an order of magnitude. We now approach Io, a hellish landscape of constant volcanic eruption and molten sulfur rivers. Io's volcanic plumes, reaching hundreds of kilometers into space, brush against Earth's upper atmosphere. The air on Earth becomes choked with toxic sulfur dioxide, rendering the surface completely unbreathable. The orbital physics become unimaginably complex as the inner moons Metis and Adrastea exert their influence. Earth is now traveling at a staggering 70 kilometers per second, faster than any human craft ever built. The familiar geography of our home planet is completely unrecognizable under the strain of cosmic violence. Jupiter's main ring system lies directly ahead, a disk of microscopic debris and pulverized rock.
Earth crashes through the ring plane, triggering a spectacular display of meteors across our sky.
The sheer scale of Jupiter now fills the entire visual field, an endless ocean of turbulent gas. The Great Red Spot, a storm twice the size of Earth, begins to rotate into view. The immense atmospheric pressure of Jupiter begins to generate an intense gravitational drag on our planet. There is no escape route left. The laws of orbital mechanics have sealed Earth's ultimate fate. The final inner moonlets, Amalthea and Thebe, flash past like ghostly remnants of an older solar system. The extreme tidal forces reach their absolute peak, threatening to pull Earth's core completely out of its mantle. The surface of our world is now a hellish landscape of liquid rock, shattered crust, and roaring toxic storms. We are now moving too fast for the human eye to comprehend, skimming the very top of the hydrogen clouds. The final descent has begun, and the boundary between space and atmosphere completely disappears. But as the crust begins to ignite from the friction, a blinding metallic glare from deep within Jupiter's clouds reveals something completely unexpected waiting for us below. The metallic glare beneath the cloud tops materializes as a vast ocean of liquid metallic hydrogen reflecting the dying light of our planet. Earth plunges deeper into the upper stratosphere, where the atmospheric density rapidly increases to unbearable levels. Intense atmospheric compression immediately turns the surrounding gases into a roaring wall of superheated plasma. Our atmosphere is stripped away in a single, violent instant as the sheer friction vaporizes the protective ozone layer. The oceans of Earth flash boil into massive plumes of superheated steam, completely destabilizing the planetary surface. Massive shockwaves rip across the exposed continental plates, shattering entire mountain ranges into dust. Jupiter's immense gravity acts like a microscopic tidal vise, flattening the spherical shape of Earth into an elongated oblate spheroid. The outermost layer of Earth's crust begins to melt completely, turning into a flowing river of incandescent liquid rock. Giant plumes of vaporized silicate rock blast backward into the Jovian clouds, creating dark soot trails. The extreme atmospheric pressure now matches that of Earth's deepest trenches, crushing the internal cavern systems of our world. Earth's mantle is exposed directly to the alien atmosphere, triggering unprecedented chemical reactions on a planetary scale. Superheated iron from our planet's core begins to leak outward through the shattered mantle layers. At this depth, Jupiter's ambient temperature surpasses 10,000 degrees Celsius, far hotter than the surface of the Sun. The remains of our continents are reduced to a scattering of independent, burning archipelagos floating in gas. Every trace of human architecture, history, and civilization is completely converted into elemental carbon and ash. Earth's heavy nickel-iron core is finally laid bare, a glowing metallic orb stripped of its rocky shell. The solid core begins to break apart into giant droplets under the relentless gravitational shredding of Jupiter's center. These iron droplets sink rapidly through the lighter hydrogen gas, raining down toward the gas giant's interior. As the iron rain descends, it permanently alters the chemical composition of Jupiter's upper atmosphere. The vast amounts of water vapor from Earth's boiled oceans enrich Jupiter's clouds with oxygen, creating exotic new weather patterns. Earth's crushed silicates combine with Jovian carbon to form a perpetual rain of microscopic diamonds falling into the depths. The extra mass absorbed from Earth slightly compresses Jupiter's overall volume, increasing its gravitational pull across the solar system. The turbulent impact site on Jupiter's surface slowly begins to smooth out as the planet's violent winds redistribute the energy. Earth as a distinct physical entity has ceased to exist, fully integrated into the anatomy of the solar system's king. The heavy elements of our home world sink into the very core of Jupiter, settling into an eternal, silent grave. The solar system returns to a state of quiet equilibrium, though fundamentally changed by the loss of its blue jewel. This cataclysmic event echoes the ancient planetary collisions that originally formed the cores of gas giants billions of years ago. The atoms that once comprised humanity, our oceans and our mountains, are now part of Jupiter's eternal storms. In the grand cosmic calendar, this destruction highlights the precious, fragile nature of the planetary stability we enjoy today. The cosmic order remains unbroken, a testament to the unforgiving yet beautiful laws of physics that govern our universe.